Thank you, Chair. I was very interested, Mr. Stanton, in your comments about discrimination in the UN refugee determination system. When I was previously on the Immigration Committee, we did study issues of systemic racism in IRCC, the Canadian refugee determination, but I think this is an underexplored area, and it's important for our policy because we often rely on the UN refugee determination system, and I certainly have heard these kinds of allegations in other contexts as well, that there are certain minorities that are negatively impacted through the process. So I would invite you to just share a little bit more on that issue and some possible solutions. Possibly Canada can be trying to either work outside that UN refugee determination system or push these UN bodies to make reforms, possibly to include the voices of minority communities in that determination process.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. In the UN resolution that we wrote with the World Hazara Council, we had a specific section in there urging the UN mission to hire people from many different ethnic groups. But as I say, because it was a technical rollover, that wasn't included in the rollover resolution for UNIMA. However, this is something that you can have an effect on because the independent assessment by an expert that will be ongoing can certainly be influenced by expressions from the Canadian government to report on that. We urged, in other words, UNIMA to hire people from other ethnic groups in our resolution. But it is also possible, I think, in Canada, as you have put it, to work outside the UNHCR refugee system, to accept refugees who come in from and are supported by church groups, by many other people, by mosques, by all kinds of people. And I think that's a real good way around this problem. We saw it again. We saw the same thing in Iraq. I've been to Kurdistan, I don't know how many times now, but the UNHCR there was also too heavily influenced by, non-Kurdish people, and so Christians often didn't make it through.
Thank you, Mr. Stanton. I think that's important testimony, and we had asked at the time for information from the government about the proportions of certain minority communities that were represented in our refugee resettlement, and we were told that those numbers weren't tracked. So we're not even assessing how we're doing in terms of being inclusive, and it's a real problem that even in refugee resettlement, we're not necessarily being inclusive of the most vulnerable in our processes.